Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So, in the Black American culture, everybody has a voice and everybody uses their voice. Many of us are very loud. When you look at some other cultures, especially the Asian cultures, they don't talk that much. You don't see them out just talking and running their mouth and being a spokesperson for the Koreans or the Japanese or the Chinese. They usually have people designated to be the spokesperson. So they don't really have a lot to say. Even with white Americans, they don't try to be an authority on white people. They might express their individual opinion, but they don't try to be the generic spokesperson for white people. Unfortunately, in the Black American culture, a lot of people try to be the spokesperson for the group. In fact, I think everybody tries to be the spokesperson for the group. So when we start speaking, we'll talk about Black people don't do this, or Black people don't do that, or Black people this and Black people that. White people generally don't do that. Asian people generally don't do that. Other people don't generally say Asian people or white people. They just speak for themselves. But for us, we'll say Black people. Black people don't do this and Black people don't do that. And so it's confusing to people listening on the outside. For instance, Black Americans are now on record as saying that Africans look down on Black people. Caribbeans look down on Black people. They think they're better than we are. They think this and they think that. When people hear you say that and they're not used to everybody in the group trying to speak for the group, they think that the person that's doing the speaking is telling the truth, that the group has given that person the authority to speak for them, that that person knows what they're talking about. So when they hear a Black American say, Africans look down on Black Americans, or Africans think they're better than Black Americans. If you're an African person and you're not familiar with that culture, you might think that that person is speaking for all Black Americans. All Black Americans don't think that Africans look down on them because many Black Americans would say, they don't have any room to be looking down on me, or Africans don't have any reason to think they're better than I am. Nobody is better than I am. Many Black Americans think like that. I think like that. But when you hear it all the time, they think they're better than we are. They look down on us. Then you're giving Africans and Caribbeans and everybody else that you say feel that way a supremacy over you that they haven't earned. And you cannot get Black Americans to stop saying that. So they jump up and say that as if they're speaking for all Black Americans. All Black Americans don't think that Africans look down on us, because if they did, we would see that as being a laughable thing to say. We would not see that as being something serious. So anyway, I saw this video, Donnie on Timeout, as you know, I like Donnie on Timeout. He came up with this video, and I just want you to watch this video, and then I'll come back and talk, and then you'll let me know if you agree with me.
I'm from Sierra Leone. I came to America as an immigrant, and I need to tell you something most Africans won't admit. We arrive in this country looking down on African Americans.
Who are Africans looking down on? I'm curious, not just Black Americans, but the world, when this is the bottom. It gets no lower than this. How could you look down at anybody when you're at the bottom?
Now, Donnie's message is the message that needs to get out. Who can look down on somebody when you're fleeing your homeland in a dingy or an inner tube, going places where people don't want you because you don't know how to fit into that society? How could somebody like this think that they are better than anybody? See, this is just absurd. So listen to Donnie.
America has the saying, you hit rock bottom. America, rock bottom, will never compete with Africa, rock bottom. You flee from one country, one war-torn country in Africa, and they send you back to another war-torn country in Africa. These are all men refusing to lay infrastructure, refusing to build the countries they fled from. A bunch of Hussein boats on boats, right? This is what your little African boys have to look up to. These are the men.
So that is the reality. They are fleeing their homeland, and it doesn't matter if they flee on foot, if they're going on something like some makeshift boat, or if they're coming in an airplane with millions of dollars. They're still fleeing their homeland, coming to a land where people had to fight for everything that they have, but they're coming here to benefit from somebody else's struggle, the struggle of our ancestors and the struggle of ourselves. They are coming as a free ride. They want a free ride. They don't want to work for their own country to build their own country. They want to come to a ready made country, a first world country. Some of them coming to scam. I think some of them are honest and they're coming to make a better life for themselves. But they are in no position to think that they are better than the poorest or the least educated person in this country because they ran from their own country. How can you be superior to anybody? You are not. And Black Americans need to stop saying that. Even if the Africans do think that, it's foolish. And that's a sign of poor home training, and it's also the sign of a weak and defective culture.
When is Africans going to return back to kings and queens? I'm rooting for y'all. But next time y'all put y'all lips to say that you're looking down on anybody, who are you looking down on when Africa is literally the bottom? And I don't mean that in no disrespect. This is the bottom. Fleeing from one war-torn country in Africa to another. They tried to get to Europe, but they sent them back to Libya.
And that's true too. They used to flood into those European countries, but those countries have established the strictest anti immigration laws in the world. At one point, Denmark was considered the most liberal country in the world, that they would take in immigrants and let them assimilate into their society. They have gotten so sick of those immigrants, especially the ones from the Middle East and Africa, that they have a zero immigration policy in Denmark now. They don't want any of them in their country.
What is it that give y'all this fake sense of uppityness? Like, are they processing bush meat now? Are they putting chemicals in the bush meat now? Because there's no way that you could be at the bottom looking down on people. That doesn't mouth. That mouth is not mouthing. How could the women even be proud of these men that flee from country to country?
Now he broke that all the way down, didn't he? Grown men leaving their homeland to go somewhere that they're not even wanted to build a life that they can't build at home. But yet they come to the next place thinking they're better than somebody else. That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense. Therefore, Black Americans need to stop repeating that. Stop repeating that. Africans think they're better than we are. Caribbeans think they're better than we are. If they do think that, that just goes to show you that they're not very smart people. Because you don't go to a strange place thinking you are better than the people that are already there when that's those people's homeland. And you don't even have a place there yet. You don't even have any rights there yet. So it doesn't make any sense to keep repeating that. So I'm just going to advise Black people to stop saying that because it doesn't make any sense. Now, I could be wrong. You might think, well, they do think that, and we do need to keep saying that. Well, you're giving them power that they haven't earned and that they don't deserve. So I believe that the best way to deal with it is to treat people the way you want them to treat you. That is the smartest way to deal in the world with other people. Treat them the way you want them to treat you. And that's a win-win situation for everybody. Just treat people the way you want them to treat you. And I think you'll have a positive outcome regardless to who the people are and where they came from. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Have a good evening.